Hi guys, good evening. Sorry for starting a little late. I was just discussing something with her. So we started late. Sorry about that. So everyone has, I think you just came, so I think you wouldn't have got a time, but everyone has like attempted that level 0 test. Got an idea about what kind of questions like they could be asking? Just switch off the AC. Okay, so first let me brief you about the subjects and the exam. How does that exam gets conducted and what are the subjects that comes? So that level 0 test had almost like four, yeah, please come. Four out of the 10 subjects. You would have seen economics. That TCS wala question was on economics. Inflation wala question was on economics. You would have seen financial statement analysis, that COGS, where what comes in the income statement. So that was there from the financial statement analysis. Interest is there, principal payments are not there in the income statement. So that question was on financial analysis. You would have seen cons, like calculating that average, calculating that mode was on the cons. Apart from that, this chota subject, corporate finance, where you would have seen that expected return was given, required return was given. So that question was on corporate finance. Okay. So when they devised the course in 1960, so they had considered virtual three groups. So there are like actual three groups, but virtually you can say that there are three groups in those 10 subjects. The first group of subjects is about investments. Okay, so investments would be in share market investments, where the rate of return will fluctuate as per the company's performance. So if company performs well, share price will go up. If company performs bad, the share price will go down. So for that, equity subject. Have you got like notes or something? Two take a notes. Investments related subject. One would be equity or share market. Second would be in the investments only, but little safer investments, which we call it as fixed deposits. But a general name to that is called as bond, yeah, debenture, where the rate of return is fixed. Where the rate of return is fixed, does not depend on how that company is performing. For example, if you make a FD in a bank, let's say ICICI Bank, so the rate of return that we will get on that FD would not depend on ICICI ka profit. ऐसा नहीं कि ICICI performs like very well, its profit increases, will get more returns on the FDs. और ऐसा भी नहीं है, if the ICICI performs badly and because of that ICICI is making losses, that doesn't mean that they will give lesser returns on their FDs. So with FDs, which is also called as bonds or debenture, the rate of returns are fixed. So that's your second subject in the investments. First was equity or shares, and the second one is like bonds or FDs. Exactly diametrically opposite. In the equity, the rate of return is completely dependent on the performance. If company performs well, its dividend will also be higher, its share price will also go higher. So you will have a higher return. And if the company performs bad, exactly opposite. The dividends will be lesser, the share price will crash, you're going to have losses. But in the case of FDs, it's exactly opposite. Whether company performs well or if it performs mediocre, irrespective of that, you're going to get a same rate of return, which is going to be printed on your FD certificate. Third is going to be real estates. Okay, so real estates has some kind of characteristic. Because of that, they have covered it separately. So real estate, one thing is that the amount of investment required is huge compared to what you invest in shares and FDs. You can invest like 1,000 rupees in FDs or 1,000 rupees in shares, but you can't invest 1,000 rupees in the real estate. The minimum required investment would be around like 25 lakhs or even 50 lakhs. And second thing, which is there in the real estate, is a lot of loan involved. Like many people buy real estate by taking a loan. So that's the reason they have a separate real estate investment. Fourth one is commodities. Commodities is not just gold and silver. Like when we talk about, we as an Indian talks about the commodities, we talk about only gold and silver. But there are other commodities like crude oil, natural gas, copper. So investment into those commodities is the fourth one. First one was shares, bonds or FDs. Third one is your real estate. Fourth one is your commodities. Main problem with the commodities is they're bulky. It's very difficult to store. So storage cost is going to be an issue, which is going to be a prime thing in the commodities. Then you have a very interesting thing, which is called as derivatives, which is like call option, put option, and futures. So that is little complicated, and that is very considered to be risky, because over there, the losses could actually be, significant, which could actually make a trader go bankrupt. So only the educated investors are generally advised to invest into derivatives, which are like call options, put options, and futures. So these are investment subjects. I'll just take a note of that so that you can also take a note. So I was just mentioning for those guys who just came that 10 subjects in the CFA are put into virtually 3 groups. So we're talking about the first set of groups, which was investment related subjects. One was shares, which is also called as equity. Second one is bond or FDs, where the rate of return gets like fixed, so that's called as fixed deposit. Third one is your real estate, or also called as your properties. Fourth one, commodities. Yeah, please come, guys. Which includes your gold, silver, copper, crude oil. And fifth one was about call options, put options, and futures. Guys, you're coming in the front of the camera, so can you go back, please? Sorry. Thank you. So these are the investment related subjects, which is virtual group number 1. So these are the subjects which comes in the CFA in the virtual group number 1. All right. So group 2 subjects are related to profession. So basically, CFA guys are going to get job across like 2 professions mainly. One is about investment banking, where you are going to help a company invest their money. And second is going to be the portfolio management, where you're going to help an investor, not a company, but an investor invest the money. So basically, in the case of portfolio management, you're going to have a client who is going to have, let's say, 10 lakh rupees or 25 lakh rupees to invest. And he will ask you that I have this money and I want to invest this money. So can you guide me, where do I invest? So you will be taking his money and you will be investing on his behalf. So in the CFA, we're going to discuss what kind of questions you're going to ask that guy. So obviously, first question will be like, what are your objectives? Like, why are you having this much amount of money? What do you want to achieve with this amount of money? Like, what are your goals? One goal would be like retirement planning. Okay. Second goal could be like buying a property or children education. So your job as a portfolio manager is to quantify those goals into how much rate of return is required to achieve those goals. Tell the client that with this amount of money, are these goals achievable? And if yes, how much risk we have to take to achieve those goals? All right. So that will come in the subject of portfolio management. Okay. So that is when you are going to advise to a client what he should do with his money, how much money he should invest and where he should invest. So that's your portfolio management. Second one is when you are an investment banker, you are going to be doing 2 things. One would be you're going to analyze the projects of the company and you're going to advise the company that this particular project that you're running is a very profitable project. So you should expand this project. You should focus on this project. And this particular project that you are doing is not so great project. It's making losses. So you should close down this project. So you as an investment banker first have to go to the company that would be your client and you have to see how these projects are, which projects are profitable, which projects are loss making. So for that, there'll be certain tools like payback period, NPV, IRR. So with those tools, you're going to analyze, which is called as capital budgeting. So with those tools, you are going to analyze the profitability of the projects. And once you find out that this is a profitable project, you will advise the company, focus on this project, expand this project. Once you find out this project is loss making, you will advise company, stop this project. You should terminate this project. All right. So that is going to be in the subject called as corporate issuers. Okay. Let's say you finalize that this project is a profitable project. For example, let's say Baiju. Let's say there are 2 projects. One is Hyderabad branch of Baiju and one is Delhi branch of Baiju. So you found out that Delhi branch of Baiju is more profitable and Hyderabad branch is loss making. So you will advise to Baiju that they should expand Delhi branch because it is profitable and they should close down the Hyderabad branch because it is loss making. Now, if you advise to So if you advise to Baiju that the Delhi branch is more profitable and they should expand this. So for expansion, they're going to require a money. So the second thing that investment bankers will do is help the Baiju to raise money in the form of two things, in the form of shares, that is called as equity capital, and second in the form of loan, which is called as debt capital. So as an investment banker, once you find out that a particular project is more profitable and you are advising them that they should expand this project. So for expansion, whatever capital is required, you as an investment banker would be helping company to raise that capital. So that is called as capital structure decision, how much loan to take and how much equity to issue. All right. So three things are covered in this particular virtual group. One, as a portfolio manager of an individual client, you will be asking to the client that what are your goals, client ka children education, client ka retirement planning, or basically about the buying some property or world tour could be the goals of the client. So you will analyze with the money that the client is having, are those goals achievable? And if they are achievable, how much risk that the client has to take to achieve those goals? So that's portfolio management. And about investment banking, two things: finding out which projects, Baiju ka Delhi project is more profitable, or Baiju ka Hyderabad project is more profitable. So analyzing that, and after you analyze which project is more profitable, in our example, Baiju ka Delhi project is more profitable, expand that. And for expansion, capital is required, money is required. So helping the company arrange that capital in the form of equity or in the form of loan. So that's the second thing that investment banker will do. So I'll just put it on the screen. So this is the second virtual group. I'm saying virtual because actually in the exam, you won't get questions in a group wise. So over here, there will be two things. One is called as your portfolio management and second is called as investment banking. Portfolio management, as we discussed, that you're going to handle the money of your client and help the client achieve their goals. The goals could be like retirement planning, or goal could be like education of the child. And as an investment banker, you will help a company analyze the profitability of the projects. And second, about raising capital. So these left-hand side were the investment-related subjects. And I would say these were the practical subjects where you would be getting the job. In India, this would be more prominent because portfolio management in India is not very organized industry. So investment banking is more organized. So in India, CFAs get job majorly over here in the investment banking. And then there are some basic subjects. So 3 basic subjects to be specific, which I'll help you out with those 3 basic subjects. As a CFA, as a chartered financial analyst, to analyze anything, first you need to analyze the economy, because everything, be it any investment product, be it commodities or be it equity or be it FDs, depends on overall macroeconomy. So what is the inflation rate? How to measure it? What is CPI, WPI, PPI? What is last per is inflation? How to know the difference between GDP and GNP? How does the currency impact each company as an exporter or as an importer? So that is what a CFA should know. So that's the reason there is a basic subject of economics, which is bifurcated into 3 parts: micro, which would have like demand, supply, oligopoly, monopoly, elasticity; macro, which involves GDP, GNP, inflation, business cycles, and then the international, which involves the trade and the currency. Okay. Second basic subject is quants, where we are going to cover not the algebra and the geometry, but the basic things about how do you calculate rate of return of a client. So if the client is having the gains in the portfolio, you should be able to quantify how much gains the client is having. So there are certain tools which one of you might be knowing: CAGR, compounded annual growth rate. So let's say Nifty was 10,000 in the year 2010, and right now the Nifty is 19,000 in the year 2023. So from 2010, when Nifty was 10,000, and now 2023, when the Nifty is 19,000. So what is the rate of return that Nifty has given? So you should be in a position to calculate that rate of return. So for that, there's a subject called as quants. Okay. Third basic subject is when you are analyzing the company to see whether the company is a healthy company or a weak company. you should basically first look at the financial statements of the company. That is your income statement, balance sheet, and a cash flow statement. And using that statement, you don't have to make those statements. That is something which an accountant will do it. So using those financial statements which will be ready-made given to you, you have to judge whether this company is a healthy or a weak company. Whether this company will survive or whether this company will become bankrupt. Okay, so these are the three basic subjects: economics, second one is cons, and the third one is the financial statement analysis. Not financial statement making, financial statement analysis. So first one is economics. I'll just write over there. It will just come in a while. Economics. Second one was cons. And third one was financial statement analysis, FSA. So those 10 subjects, which we just wrote on the screen, those 10 subjects together will comprise of 180 questions in the exam. And individually, approximately from each subject, you will get around 18 questions. So exactly equal nahi hota. 180 divided by 10, 18 questions nahi hota. Some subjects could have more questions, some subjects could have lesser questions. So the weightages differ. Some subjects has more weightage, some subjects have lesser weightage. But approximately you can say 18 questions per subject. And there is no minimum marks that you have to score in each subject. So there's no like subject-wise passing or subject-wise failing. Out of 180 overall, they do not disclose the minimum passing score, but overall, for the May exam which just happened, the minimum passing score was around 123 marks out of 180. So basically, you can say around 120 to 125 marks you need to score, which is called as your minimum passing score out of 180 marks. This fluctuates, but I mean, more or less in this range. Very rarely it has gone above 125 and very rarely it has gone below 120 also. So you can say in between this range, your minimum passing score would be there. So it is completely fine to score like 0 in a particular subject, worst case, and still pass the exam if your overall score is above this range, 120 to 125. Each question has 3 options, A, B, C. And there are no negative markings. So negative markings are not there. So basically, this means that you can guess the options. This is basically helping. Basically, the logic of this is like if you could eliminate one of the option. I mean, even if you don't know the question, but if you could eliminate one of the option, they are trying to see whether I can eliminate and find out between B and C whether answer is B or C. So that's the reason they are not giving any negative markings. However, although there are only 3 options and although there's no negative marking, still the passing rate of this exam is between 35 to 40%. For the May exam, the result which came like 2 days back, it was 39%, which was one of the highest. On an average, in the last 3 years, the minimum, the passing rate of this exam has been 35-36%. So there are 3 options and there's no negative markings. More people should have passed the exam. But why 35 to 40% is the minimum passing, the passing rate is because the minimum passing score is around 70%. I can say around 120 to 125 out of 180 is around 67%. So the minimum passing score is higher. That is one of the difficulties of this exam. So to reach to 120 to 125, you have to do few things. One is exactly opposite of what you might have done or what you could be doing right now in the college. That study in the last 1 month. So here at least 7 to 8 months, it should be your preparation time. Okay, so last months I'll start studying. This will completely be not possible because there are 10 subjects. So last 1 month way, you should also not think about revision. In the 7 to 8 months, you should be doing the revision also along with the main syllabus. Understand, if you start something in July, if you start, let's say, subject of equity in July. So in, let's say, July, you did equity. In the August, you did fixed income. In the September, you did real estate. Now in the October, you are doing commodities and suddenly ask you some question of equity, which was done in July. You won't be able to recollect that. So basically, what is happening is when you keep on learning the new subjects, like in the August, you studied FDs, in the September, you studied real estate, automatically the equity that you have done in the month of July will start fading in your memory. So you have to refresh that by revising that along with the main subjects. So don't leave the revision for the last. in the last 1 month, you should be doing second round of revision, not the first round of revision. So plan yourself for at least 8 months. So if you start right now, February is something which is possible. We have less than 8 months. July, August, September, October, November, December, and January. So 7 months and half of February. So 7.5 months, that means 15 days lesser for the February exam compared to the ideal time of 8 months. But still February is achieved. Okay. These all subjects are there in level 2 also. So level 1, level 2 has same subjects. So all the 10 subjects that we discuss are there in level 1, are there in level 2. The only difference is in level 1, you have 180 questions. And in level 2, you have around 90, actually 88, but I'm just writing 90. Technically, it is 88 questions, but I'm writing 90 questions. So with half the question, what happens is the preparation will become more intense because you can't leave anything for the option. Because understand, with a lesser number of questions, if you leave something for the option and if that get tested, you are basically, you're exposing yourself to that. So in the level 2, you can't leave anything for the option. You have to do everything, even for the level 1. I mean, level 1 में 10 subjects में 180 questions. That means per subject 18 questions are not good enough to test your knowledge on that 18 questions per subject. Actually, you need more questions, but unfortunately, the pattern is such that on one subject, you will get max 18 questions. In the level 2, that's just 9 questions on each subject. So it needs to be like very thoroughly prepared. And those 90 questions are going to be arranged in around 15 to 20 case studies. You can say around 15 case studies. So you have case studies which will have the combined data for maybe around 5-6 questions. So you'll have case study and then you'll have 5-6 questions. The next case study, next 5-6 questions, which is not in the level 1. Level 1, each question would be individual. Level 2, case study followed by 5-6 questions. Same is the pattern with level 3 also. But level 3, half of these 90 questions, around 45 questions are subjective and 45 questions are objective. So here, all subjects, all questions were objective. In the level 3, half of the exam is subjective. Subjective does not mean that they will ask a general question that write about India sheet. They'll not ask like general question like this. They will ask you similar question like what they ask you in level 1 and level 2. But in the level 1 and level 2, they did not ask you to justify why you have selected A and why you have rejected B and C. In the level 3, they will ask you that why did you select A, justify that, and as well as why did you reject B and C, justify that. All right. If it is a numerical question, you have to show the calculations. In level 1 and level 2, you don't have to show the calculations. In level 3, you have to show the calculation if it is a numerical question. And if it is a conceptual theory question, you have to justify why A has been selected by you and why not B and C. So these are the 3 levels. Coming to the exam, the level 1 happens 4 times a year. I'll take your question, but I'll first brief you about the entire thing. Level 1 happens in February, May, August, and November. Level 2 generally happens in the May and the November, but in the next year, it is happening also in the August. So that is only for the next year, but generally it's going to happen in May and November also. And level 3 happens in the February and August. All right, so that's the exam timeline. Next, about the exam fees. For level 1, there are 2 fees. One is called as one-time registration fees, which is $350. And then there is an exam fee from the next year, which has increased by $40. It was $900. Now it has become $940. That is for the level 1. So let's add it up. That's $1,290. All right, for level 1. And for level 2, it will be only exam fees. And for level 3, it will be only exam fees. For level 1, $1,290. For level 2, $940. And for level 3, $940. So approximately, you can say it will be total fees, which will, in terms of rupees, it will come to something around 2.60 lakhs rupees, which is huge. If you look at it from exam perspective, it is huge. If you compare that with the, let's say, CA exam fees, this is less. It's very high as compared to the CA exam fees. So compare CA versus CFA in a while. And if this fees is the issue, the CFA Institute offers a scholarship, which I'll brief about it in a while. There are two scholarships that CFA Institute offers, which I'll brief about it in a while. There are Access Scholarship and Women's Scholarship. So I'll brief on this little later, not right now. As I said, the level 1 exam happens February, May, August, and November. So if you are aiming this exam, that is February 2024 exam, then the fees which I just said right now, this fees of $1,290 is applicable if you apply it within certain period of time, which is right now mentioned on the CFA website as July 13th. However, technically it can be taken to around August 13th. So right now on the CFA Institute website, you will find it's mentioned as 13 July. I'll just show you. So level 1, Feb 24. You'll find over here 13 July. Exam registration deadline is 13 July. But technically, this deadline of 13 July can be taken to 13th of August by something called as this option, invoice payment option. It's not 29 September, that's wrong. It's actually 13th of August. So I'll show you separately how can this deadline be taken to 13th of August. So technically, you can say, you can write, although it's 13th of July, but it can be taken to August 13th. Now, basic question is like, whether I should go for a February exam or whether I should go for a May exam. Or some students ask me, can I go for a November exam? So see, logically, if you look at November exam, we have 4.5 months. So technically, it is a very less time for a November exam. But if you want to discuss with me in person, so can I do a November exam? After the session gets over, discuss with me. Right now, I would say in general, 4.5 months is too less period of time to prepare for an exhaustive exam like this. Okay, but still, if you want to discuss with me, sir, November karna hai, so I'll discuss that with you in person after the session gets over. Now, between February and May, or February and any other later exam, I would say February is achievable in general. Now, in specific to you, I would not be able to kind of recommend, or nor you should take my recommendation at this point of time, because at this point of time, I don't know you. And at this point of time, you do not know about CFA course. I mean, you would have just got to know about subjects, or you would have got to know about CFA from your friends or by doing some research on the internet. You've not started studying CFA. So at this point of time, you should not be registering for a February exam, or you should not take anyone's recommendation right now. So if you join us, we would be evaluating you for at least 3 to 4 weeks to see how is your preparation in that 3 to 4 weeks. Is it up to the mark? Is it above the mark, or is it below the mark? And you will also do a self-analysis. And then at the end of 1 month, at least one subject will be done. So based on your understanding of one subject, I'll ask you whether you believe February is achievable. And I will also have my own view. And if both views matches, then we will go for the February exam. In that 13 July, 13th August, then we will be able to make that decision. So that's the reason I said 13 July ke jagah 13th August is the early bird deadline, the registration deadline. Okay. So whichever class you join, or whether you're doing your self-preparation, do not register and start preparing. First, start preparing. I sent you the books in the groups. So see those books. Just see whether you are able to, like, if you're going to do a self-preparation, just see the books by yourself. Start studying the books by yourself at least for 3 weeks, and then find out whether I will be able to like manage this February exam or not. Whichever coaching class you join, give that coaching class ke teacher to kind of at least 3 to 4 weeks to analyze your preparation. Take a test of whatever things you have covered in that 1 month, and based on that, you and that professor should together decide whether you should go for the February exam or a May exam. All right. So that's about the level 1 ke liye, fees and the exam structure. Now, coming to basically how this exam relates with let's say CA exam, because like 12th standard, you're manya, right? So let me like explain for someone from like just entering into the college. So how does this exam is different from a CA exam? So basically CA is about accounting, NAMI, a chartered accountancy. So basically if you like the work of making financial statements, so if I give you, let's say for RK Finance classes, if I give you the bank statements of RK Finance classes, current account statements, if I give you students ke receipts, I give you student ke bills, and based on that, I ask you to make income statement. and you are able to make the income statement, if you are able to do those credit debit entries, and if you like that kind of a work and you want to make career in that, then you should pursue the accounting related course like CA, like ACCA, like CMA or CPA. So these are like 4 accounting courses: ACCA, CPA, CMA, and the Chartered Accountants, CA of ICA. So if you like, how do I make financial statements of a company? In that case, you should go for CA. But if you are in that category where I would be given the financial statements of a company and I would like to analyze it and find out whether the company is financially healthy or financially weak, whether this company has a potential to go up or this company could potentially crash. So if you like to do that analysis, you should be doing CFA. Is that difference clear? All right. So find out whether you are more of an accounting student, you like debit, credit kind of a thing, then you should not do CFA. You should be doing CA. Or if you want CA difficult, you should do ACCA, CMA, CPA, whatever, accountancy related courses. But if you like basic of accountings, but you are more into like equity markets or more into, let's say, corporate advisory or more into financial markets, more into analyzing the financial statement, then you should do CFA. Is that clear? About the exam patterns, CA is also a good course. However, usme difficulty is slightly more because there are group-wise subjects, and in each group you have to score some minimum marks which are like 200, and each subject you have to score 40. So difficulty-wise, CA is slightly more difficult as compared to CA, but that does not mean you should not do CA. If you like accounting, you should do CA at any cost, or you should do ACCA or CPA, etc. If you like finance, you should not be looking at the accounting courses. You should be looking for the CA. Okay, I know you have a lot of questions to ask. I'll take them. Second, how does this course relate with? That's a common question I get. How does this course relate with MBA? How many of you have this question, like CFA or MBA? I get this like a very common question. Is CFA better or MBA better? So first of all, you should know what is covered in CFA and what is covered in MBA. Although both of them are like finance, MBA finance and CFA is chartered financial analyst. However, the scope is different. In the CFA, you will be taught finance from very basic and very depth. You'll be analyzing the financial statements to the very basic. You'll be doing a valuation of a share, which is called as fundamental analysis. Technical analysis, we'll be doing it to the core. So basically, if you want to work at one place, getting all the information and doing your own research with the help of a team, in-depth financial research, you should go for CFA. Then what is being taught in MBA finance? So let me explain. Once the research is done, that research has to be presented to the investors. For example, let's say RK Finance Classes is going to start a new branch at Borivali. So one guy would be doing the analysis ki whether Borivali branch of RK Finance Classes will be a profitable or not. And that guy would be a CFA. So he will be doing the in-depth financial analysis of Borivali market and find out whether that Borivali branch will be a profitable or a loss-making. Now, after that analysis is done, conclusion is that the Borivali branch is going to be a profitable branch. Then that is to be pitched to the lenders for taking a loan from the lenders, and that is to be pitched to the investors कि Borivali branch को बनाने के लिए 30 crore rupees is required. So we want your money. So what you see in Shark Tank. So over there, the soft skills matter. How do you present yourself? What kind of things you speak and what kind of questions that they ask and how do you answer them? So for that, you don't need to know in-depth finance wala knowledge. If you have seen those guys who come on the Shark Tank India, very few of them are MBA finance. Very few of them are like the chartered financial analysts. Very few of them are from the finance background. However, they have a very good soft skills. So in the MBA, the more focus will be on the soft skills. It's not about whether you know the finance to the core or not, but it's about someone has done the analysis and are you able to present that analysis? Are you able to convince the investor that Borivali branch is profitable? They should invest into that. So CFA will be doing the analysis and finding out whether Borivali branch is profitable or is it loss making. And the MBA finance guy will be trying to convince that guy, will be trying to convince that particular thing to the investors and to the lenders that this particular branch is profitable. So please invest your money into this branch. So that's the scope difference. So CFA is more about analyzing and MBA is more about pitching to the investors. Okay. Now, coming to the second aspect of CFA and MBA, cost. So in the cost, CFA is much more cheaper as compared to the MBA. like CFA ka cost we just saw, it's in the range of 2.5 lakh to 3 lakh, whereas MBA fees will be much more higher than that. But again, that does not mean you should rule out the MBA. If it is MBA from a tier 1 institute, what does that mean? The IIMs, or if I come to the Mumbai, SPJ, NMIMS, Jamnalal Bajaj, Sidnan, if you're talking about these colleges, then whatever their fees are, 10 lakh, 15 lakhs in this range, that is worth, because the package that you will get from this college, I repeat the names, SPJ, if you want to take a note, Jamnalal Bajaj, Sidnan, and NMIMS. These are tier 1 colleges in Mumbai. All over India, you can just search on the Google and find out. In these colleges, fees should not be the constraint. So if you are not from a financially well-off background, you can take a loan and still go for these colleges, although fees could be very high as compared to the CFA. Because the packages that you will get over there cannot be compared with the CFA package. The package that you will get will be in the range of around 15 lakh to 20 lakh. But getting into this college requires a lot of efforts, a lot of MBA entrance exams to be done. So for that CAT, CET, NMAT, whatever entrance exams are there, so you have to sincerely prepare for those. Then comes the tier 2 college, which is like Somaya, which is like Wellinger, which is like MET, IES kind of colleges, Dalmia. Over there, you will get packages which are almost similar to CFA or slightly more than CFA. So CFA packages I did not mention, so let me just write those. And then I'll compare them with the tier 2 MBA colleges. So the packages I'm writing are on an average package. So after clearing level 1, the packages would be in the range of 3 lakh to 6 lakhs per annum. Now, whether it will be 3 lakh for you or 6 lakhs for you, that depends on various other things. Like, for example, if you're a fresher, then it will be more towards 3 lakh, 4 lakh this range. If you're having a work experience, it will be towards 6 lakhs range. If you are basically having some finance internship, so in that case, it will be more towards 5 lakh, 6 lakhs range. If you are not having some finance internship on your resume, 3 lakh, 4 lakh range. Which college you are from? So basically HR, KC, NM, so etc. would be in the range of 4, 5 lakhs, 6 lakhs in this kind of range. So which college, whether do you have internships on your resume, whether have you worked in some company, these are the factors that will determine whether you will be in 5, 6 lakhs or 3, 4 lakhs. But on an average, you will not get less than 3 lakhs. And in very rare cases, you will get more than 6 lakhs. ऐसा नहीं कि 6 lakhs के ऊपर possible ही नहीं है. Very rarely you will get more than 6 lakhs and almost unlikely to get less than 3 lakhs after clearing level 1. Level 2. Approximately, it will be in the range of, you can say 5 lakh to around 7.5, 7 lakhs, you can say 7.5 lakhs almost. And after level 3, it will be in the range of around 6.5 lakhs to approximately around 9 lakhs. So these are the CFA packages. And if you compare that with the tier 1 MBA, I was saying it fares nowhere. The tier 1 MBA, it will be around 15 lakhs starting package, which is like nowhere compared to this. So although your CFA has lesser fees, but the packages are also lesser if you compare that with the tier 1 MBA. I repeat, SPJ, NMIMS, Jamnalal Bajaj, and Sidnan College. Over there, the fees could be higher. Sidnan has a lower fees because Sidnan is a government-aided college. Other colleges are private, so their fees will be higher. But if you compare this with the Somaya or Wellinger or SIS, in that case, after clearing level 3, your package are 6.5 to 9 lakh. And from these colleges, you will get somewhere around same 9 lakh, 10 lakh, 11 lakh in that range. So if you compare that with the tier 2 MBA, CFA is at par, or you can say tier 2 MBA is slightly above CFA. Because your package will be around 6.59, their package will be around 10, 11 in this range. That too for some college like Somaya. Wellinger also, maybe SIS will not give this package. They will give around 8 lakh kind of a package, or even less than 8 lakhs. So you can say tier 2 MBA and CFA are comparable. Tier 3 MBA are all those colleges which you wouldn't have heard the name about right now. I mean, all the colleges that you wouldn't have heard the name are all tier 3 MBA colleges. So I'll not take the names. You can search those names, and whichever names you have not heard about, whichever names are not coming on the Google, they are all tier 3 MBA colleges. They don't even compare because the placements are not full, and the people who get the jobs, they are in the range of around 3 lakh, 6 lakh in this range, which does not compare with the CFA because level 1 ke baad hi utna salary you will be able to get it. About the profiles, I had mentioned clearly that CFA will give you what profiles and MBA will give you what profiles. CFA will give you profiles which are related to, like you said, at one place, and you mind your own business with respect to the research. You will be given a lot of data, or you have to collect a lot of data, and you have to do your own research. You do not have to present that research. That would be a job of MBA guys. So MBA guys will be taking the inputs from you, and they'll be going to the investors, pitching the idea to the investors, or they'll be going to the lenders and try to kind of take the loan from the lender. So that's the main difference between the work profile of an MBA guy and a CFA guy. CFA guy will be doing the research. MBA guy will be presenting that research to the investors and to the lenders. You understand what CA does, right? CA is going to be about making those financial statements. CFA is going to be about analyzing those financial statements. All right. Okay, coming to the one more aspect of the CFA, that after clearing level 3, there is a requirement of some number of work years, work experience, without which you don't get a final certificate. So after clearing level 1, you will get a level 1 certificate. After clearing level 2, you will get a level 2 certificate. And after clearing level 3, you will get a level 3 certificate. After that, to get a final certificate that you have cleared all 3 levels of CFA exam, which is called as CFA Charter, you require 3 years of relevant work experience. Relevant means it should be somehow connected to finance. You could be working in the finance field, or you could be working for a finance client. It should be remotely or directly connected with the finance. So those 3 years could be along when you are doing level 1, level 2, level 3. It's only level 3 ke baad 3 years. So after your graduation, whatever work you are doing would also get counted in those 3 years of work experience. Coming to the eligibility criteria, it is, take a note of this point, that passport is not required at the time of registration. If you do not have a passport now, you can still register for the exam on 13th of July or 13th of August, whatever. You don't need a passport at the time of registration. It was required early. I mean, earlier, approximately 2 years before, passport was required at the time of registration. Now it is not required at the time of registration. However, it is required at the time of exam. That is, on your exam day, your ID card would be your passport. So on, suppose you're going for a February 24 exam. Let's say she's going for a February exam. So on 13th August, when she registers, she does not require passport. But on the exam day, she will require passport. Without passport, she will not be able to enter the exam. All right. So on the exam day, passport is mandatory. On the registration day, the passport is not mandatory. Second, if you are a first year student, then you are not eligible to write the level 1 exam right now. The criteria is, after you have written the level 1 exam, you should be graduating within 2 years. So all the second year students over here are eligible to take the level 1 exam, because right now already in your second year, so within 2 years will be graduating. So earlier it was like only final year students were allowed to take this exam. 2021 they relaxed this criteria. So now second year students can also take the exam. First year students, you can start your preparation right now, but when you reach second year, at that time you can take this exam. So Feb 24 is not possible for you guys. May 24 is possible, because from May 24 within 2 years, you'll be graduating. So May 24 would be possible, but Feb 24 will not be possible, because from Feb 24 to Feb 26, you will not be graduating. But May 2026 will be graduating. So for the first year students, you can start preparing right now, but you can't take the exam when you are in first year. You have to reach second year to take this exam. Okay, so that's about the eligibility criteria for obviously if you are after, like if you're in third year, you're eligible. If you are graduate, you're eligible. The minimum eligibility criteria is that you should be in second year of your college, and at the time of exam, you should have a passport. Not right now, at the time of exam, you should be having a passport. All right, for level 2, take a note of this. For level 2, at the time of exam, you should be a graduate. At the time of registration, you may not be a graduate, but at the time of taking the exam, you should be a graduate. So for example, if I'm in third year right now, I can prepare for a level 2 exam. I can register for a level 2 exam, which is there in the month of May or August. Actually, possibly August, because May tak shayad final year ka result nahi aayega. So at the time of the exam, I should be a graduate. So the criteria for appearing for the level 2 exam is, when I'm writing the level 2 exam, I should be a graduate. So third year student, so second year students can prepare and take the level 1 exam. Third year students can prepare for a level 2 exam, but they cannot take the level 2 exam before they graduate. So that's the reason the level 2 exam, if you have seen that, उन्होंने वो August में भी रखा था. I told you that level 2 exams happens in May and November only. So why they have introduced August is only for those guys who are in the final year preparing for the level 2. So they can't take the May exam because May में उनका result नहीं आएगा graduation का. So that's the reason they are introducing August exam for level 2 for helping final year students take the level 2 exam. All right. So for level 1, you should be in second year minimum. You should be in second year. For level 2, you should be a graduate on the date of the exam, and passport is obviously required. Okay. Any doubts? Anything that is very specific to you, I'll take it later on. Like, sir, I am in this college, so I'll take those in-person doubts later on. In general, if you have doubts, you can ask. Online guys, you can raise and ask your doubts. First, your name and then the doubt. Sandesh.
If someone is registered for the exam and
so if you register for an exam and if you want to defer it, it is gonna cost you around $399. So take a note of that. Once you register for an exam, if you want to defer it, it is going to cost you around $399. That means around 32,000 rupees, which is a huge cost. And that's the reason I'm saying over here that you should not register and then start preparing. You should do the reverse way. You should start preparing at least 1 month. You should look at the CFA course and let your faculty also analyze how are you studying at least in that 1 month, one subject at least. And based on that, you should register or for February exam or for a later exam. That's exactly for this reason that if you register for February exam and later on find out, I want to take a May exam. So they will charge you a $399 fees. Worst case, if you appear for February exam and don't clear it, then that $940 which you have written as an exam fees would be a cost to you, which will be approximately 75,000 rupees, which obviously we don't want to pay that. So that's the reason at least 8 months of preparation, 7 to 8 months of preparation is advisable, so that that chance of not clearing the exam would be kept to lowest. And second, because they charge $399 for deferring the exam, we should first analyze whether February is achievable or not before registering. If you have got the scholarship, I'm coming to the scholarship. If you got the scholarship, still the case would be like that. After registering, if you want to defer, $399. I'll come to the scholarship part in a while. Yeah. Or you all guys want me to address scholarship part right now? Okay, so let me answer scholarship part. So there are 2 scholarships that the CFA offers. One is in general scholarship, like not gender specific scholarship. So that's called as access scholarship, which is going to open on 1st September. Which means after the early bird deadline for a February exam, which is a bad thing. However, the good thing is that if you are going to apply for the scholarship and because of that you are not early registering for this exam, they will give you benefit of that. That means even if you do not get the scholarship, still you will be getting that early bird fees. They will not kind of put you across why you did not register before 13th of August. Because scholarship is opening on 1st September. So as the scholarship opens on 1st September, they are going to give you benefit of doubt that if you do not get that scholarship, the early bird fees will be available with you. So if you believe that the fees, which is approximately $350 plus $940, $1290 is out of your budget, and because of that you want to apply for a scholarship, and because of which you are not registering for the exam on 13th of August, they will give you that discounted fees even if your scholarship application gets declined. Okay. To apply for a scholarship, there is an online form that you have to fill it, which will open on 1st September. They will ask you for your financial details. That is, what is your monthly income or what is your family's monthly income? Apart from that, where do you stay? So over there, Mumbai students have a less chance of getting the scholarship. So if you live in Dahisar, say that you are in Thane. Do not say that you are in Mumbai, because chance of a Mumbai student getting a scholarship is lesser because Mumbai is a financial capital. All right. So basically, I mean, I'm just giving a general kind of things. Okay. There is no kind of hard and fast rule कि इतना income है तो ही will get a scholarship. इससे कम income है तो you will not. I mean, इससे ज़्यादा income will not get a scholarship. There's no general rules like that. So your scholarship application will be analyzed by one guy who will be there in the CFA Institute, and he will be analyzing your essay. So he will be writing some essay, and based on that, what points have you covered in the essay, you will be getting you will be either rewarded with the scholarship or your scholarship application could get declined. Okay, so how to write that essay, I'll help you out later on. So they will not basically kind of ask you for any documents. They'll ask you for references, but not any documents, and that essay and your financial situation. So that's for access scholarship. Women's scholarship, obviously gender specific scholarship, only for the women's. Earlier it was only for professional working women. Now they have allowed it for everyone. Even college going girls can apply for that. However, again, professional working women outside Mumbai have more chance of getting that, but everyone can apply for it. But I'm saying more chances are for professional working women who are outside Mumbai. But anyone can apply for it. As a girl, you can apply for both the scholarship. You can apply for access scholarship also. You can apply for women's scholarship also. Both of them are costless. There is no cost to apply for any of the scholarship. And the process of both of them are similar. So you can apply for both the scholarship. The good thing is that there are no costs. The good thing is that even if the scholarship application gets declined, you will still be eligible for that 13th July or 13th August wala early bird fees. The bad thing is that the chances of getting the scholarships are not very high. That is around 15%. 15 to max 20% are the max chance of getting a scholarship. But that's fine. I mean, out of this around 25-30 guys, if 3 guys are getting the scholarship, that is fine for those 3 guys. Other 27 guys should not kind of feel very bad about it, because your fees will be still early bird fees. Your fees are not going to increase, nor there is any cost to apply for a scholarship. So those 3 guys, the fees will be just $250 instead of $1290. It will be just $250. That means the fees will be reduced by almost 1 lakh. The fees which are in the range of 1,25,000 will be now in the range of around 30,000. So the fees will get drastically reduced if you get the scholarship, but the chance of that is around 15%. Yeah, so that was about access scholarship and women's scholarship, which will open on 1st of September, not before that. Okay, but still, February exam it is possible to apply for a scholarship, but you have to right now just start studying and wait for the scholarship window to open. So even if it is opening after the 13th August, still you will be eligible for the early bird scholarship. I mean, early bird deadline, even if your scholarship application gets declined. Any further doubts? Ask anything. I'll decide whether that is personal doubt or in general doubt.
My name is Simran. The scholarship.
Simran. Yeah.
The scholarship that you mentioned, is it included for all the levels?
No. So scholarship is for each level. So if you get a scholarship for level 1, then congratulations. But for level 2, to again apply for it. So it's not for the entire course. It's for level 1, level 2, level 3. Specifically, you have to apply for each level. I've seen guys getting a scholarship for all 3 levels. I've seen guys who are getting a scholarship for level 2, but not for level 1. So in level 1, she did not get a scholarship, but for level 2, she got a scholarship. So you have to apply the scholarship for each level individually. Any questions? Online guys, if you have questions, please raise hand and I'll enable your audio. Yeah, I'll decide whether your questions are personal to be taken later on or they should be addressed right now. You can ask any question here. No question. Everything is clear. Good. All right. About are you practicing CA?
No.
Yeah, but in the job you are practicing like CA. All right. Okay, so basically, as a working profession, I would not be. I can't ask you to study like 4 hours on a daily basis. So that's the reason I say at least 7 to 8 months. Be college graduates or be working professional, daily around 2 to 3 hours of preparation for 7 to 8 months. So basically 3 things I would require in that daily 2 to 3 hours of preparation. One would be whatever I teach you, you have to read that. Although in the classroom, I'll make sure you will understand it, but when you go home and read it, then only the things will get registered in your mind. So whatever I teach you, you have to go back and read that. That's one thing. Second, because you said it's like a MCQ-based exam, so they will test your understanding to the core. They'll not ask you like a simple kind of a numericals or simple kind of a theory question. They will ask your understanding-based questions. So you have to solve at least 20 questions on a daily basis. So from the question bank that will be given, you have to solve at least 20 questions and try to get the accuracy of at least 75%. Although 65-70 is the passing score, but at least 75% is what you should target. And third thing is that revision, which I said you should not be leaving the revision for the last. So you should also be doing the revision on a daily basis. So 3 things will require on an average 2 to 3 hours. Read, solve questions, at least 20 questions, and then revise. So for that, you will have to spend at least 2 to 3 hours on a daily basis for 7 to 8 months. Obviously, as you go closer to the exam, automatically you will be start putting in more efforts. But obviously, when there are working professional specific commitments, whatever backlog will be created, you have to make sure that you will be allotting more hours in the next days to cover that back. So daily 2 to 3 hours is manageable. So fine. So at least like 7 to 8 months, that is February exam, not earlier than that. With 2 to 3 years, it will be possible to go for it. Where do you work? Access MC, that's the lower part. Okay, and where do you stay? Achha, so traveling time is not much for you, so you can manage that early in the morning or late in the evenings.
I'm not from Bhutan.
All right, so you're shifted. You chose to stay near to the. Yeah, Niraj.
Sir, I have to pay new exam fee for every attempt I appear.
Yes. So basically, for if you clear level 1, then for the level 2, you have to pay that $940. And after
No,
clearing
no, no, no,
level 2,
no.
for level 3, you have to pay $940. And
If I
do not
fail
clear
to.
level 1, for reappearing level 1, also you have to pay that $940.
Acha, okay.
So
No
basically,
problem.
whether
Thank
you clear or not clear, for level 2, you have to pay $940. And if you do not clear for level 1, you have to pay that $940.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, Ayush.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Sir, I had a doubt that if we continue with you, then what will be the batches and how will be the timing?
For the classes, right?
Yes, for the classes.
I'll take that separately. So I'll not like take that right now because this is not about architecture, right?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, any doubts? Yeah.
Are you familiar with the BSc in finance?
Yeah. So basically, see, if you look at what kind of graduation will go with the CFA most kindly tandem. So technically, if you are into BCom or a BAF kind of a thing, aisa nahi hai that you will be at a very disadvantageous. However, if you are doing the BSc Finance or if you are doing the BFM, then a lot of things that we cover in the CFA will be also there in your graduation. So your graduation will go a little bit smoother if it is BSc Finance or if it is BFM. So, I mean, I'm not saying because of that, choose that. I'm not saying, so you've chosen Thakur, right?
Yeah, but I was
So that's what I'm saying. So I'm not saying that because I'm doing CFA, I should choose a BSc Finance kind of a thing. So first thing is which college are you from? That will matter. And then in the same college, if I'm getting BFM or if I'm getting BAF, then I will say it's better to go for a BFM in the same college. I would not say change the college to go for a BFM. So if you are in the same college and being offered BFM versus BAF, I would say it's better to go for a BFM. So, like whatever your choice of the college is, if you're going for an HR, so in the HR, if there's a BFM and there's a BAF, I'll go for a BFM. But in the HR is like too far because let's say you stay in Vilepalle. So if you're going for NMIMS, so in that case, go for NMIMS. Don't go for HR because NMIMS mein BFM nahi hai. So look for a college of your choice, and then in that, if you are getting BFM, great. If you're not getting BFM, try for BMS Finance. If you're not getting that, go for BAF. Even if you go for plain BCom, that's completely fine. But advisable not to go for BCom if you don't like accounting much. So BFM or BSc Finance or BAF would be the preferable choices for a graduation. That doesn't mean for a student who is doing a BCom, CFA would be like very difficult. Okay, but advisable if you are just right now past your 12th standard, advisable to do the courses which are like BMS Finance, BSc Finance, or BAF or BFM. Or even BBI, banking and insurance. Yeah, any other doubts? Your name, please. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. BSc Finance, BMS Finance are almost similar. Then BFM is more into core into the finance, and even BAF is into finance. So all these 4 things, or 5th one BBI. I repeat: BMS Finance, BSc Finance, BBI, banking, insurance. BAF, Bachelor's in Accounting and Finance, and your BFM. So all these are finance-related courses, graduation courses, which are preferable, but that doesn't mean that you have to do that to make your CFA journey easier. Even if you are not into that, even if you are into plain BCom, your CFA journey would be not much of a trouble. Is that clear? So, I mean, don't change your discipline in case you are not getting this. So if you're getting it, great. If you're not getting it, that's fine. I wouldn't be able to answer that because I have not seen the placement of that and compare that with the Thakur. But in general, I can say NM is better than Thakur. But again, that's what I said. Do not go by my words. I have done my engineering, I have done my MBA Finance, and then I have done my CFA along with my MBA Finance. So I'm not from the traditional BCom, BAF, BFM background. So this is what I've heard about. This is not what I've gone through. I've gone through engineering, then did my MBA, and then did along with the MBA 2 levels of CFA, and along with the work I've done my 3rd level of CFA. So if you ask me which engineering college is better, I would have a first-hand experience. About NMIMS engineering, it's a great college. About NMIMS BFM, I'm not sure because I've heard about it. I've not been through that college. There are two basically colleges like that. So, but I do not know about the placement opportunities. I know the course is very parallel with the CFA, but that does not mean you should choose that. You should look at the placement. You should be looking at the fees. You should be looking at the proximity. Yeah, Nikhil.
Yeah, hi sir. I wanted to ask you, you said that by 18th of August, you can register for early bird.
Correct.
So how does it work, sir?
So there's a process called as wire transfer. If you have seen this, I'll just show you. So there are two ways in which you can pay the CFA fees. One is called as credit card payment, and second one is called as normal bank transfer hota hai, IMPS, NEFT. वैसे for international transfer, this is called as SWIFT transfer. Like India to India is IMPS or NEFT. International is called as SWIFT transfer. So if you choose the SWIFT transfer option, then you will get that extra 1 month. So that's what I'm saying. If you want that additional 1 month, which I believe you should be having that additional 1 month, because we are on 29 June. 13 July is too close to determine whether I should go for February or not. So from that perspective, give yourself that extra 1 month by going for that wire transfer option. So see that they have mentioned payment by invoice. So if you go with the credit card, then this is the fees. I mean, this is the date for the early bird. And if you go with the invoice, you get additional 1 month. This is wrong date. This is 13th August. You get additional 1 month. This is like they're given 2 months, which is wrong. So from 13th July, you get additional 1 month to pay by the invoice, which is called as your wire transfer method, which is like bank transfer. So with that, you will get that extra 1 month.
So basically, I go to a bank and I just do a wire transfer.
I'll help you out with that. It's a very easy process. I'll help you with that.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Any doubts? You can ask me right now. I'll decide whether they are like personal doubts or like a specific doubts to you. Like his doubt was specific, so I could have answered it later on. But okay, so you can ask me right now. Okay, clearness will close. Okay, everything is clear. Yeah.
So if I clear my level 1 and then pay at time, so I will have to wait 2 years to do my level 1.
I mean, you can start your preparations, but you cannot take your level 2 before August 2026. You are in right now your first year of college, right? So you can take your level 1 in May 24, but your level 2 should wait till August 26. So you'll have to wait for 2 years. So at least out of that, you can do the internship. Obviously, as an undergraduate, you cannot work, but as an undergraduate, you can do an internship, which will be helpful for you to get that 6 lakhs ka package. If you do not have that internship, 3 lakh to 4 lakh will be the package. If you have the internship, around 6 lakh will be the package, because the employers are looking for not just the knowledge that you see in the CFA course, but apart from that, they are also looking for, do you have any industry experience? Be it 2 months of experience, that's good enough. So if you have 2 months articleship or internship being done, which is related to finance, if you've done some research, that will kind of help you to pitch in yourself, and your package could be in the range of 5 lakh to 6 lakh. But there is one more thing which is being there in the 2024 syllabus, which I did not say about it, which was not until 2023, which is the 2 things that they have added, and because of that, they have increased the fees by $40. It was $900 of exam fees and $350 of registration fee. If you're seeing right now, it's $940. So why they increased it to $40? Because they have added 2 things. One right now is Excel, and second one is Python. So Python is basically a financial data collecting software. With the help of that, you can access a database and you can get the data, financial data. For example, अगर मुझे RBI के website से जाके, I have to look at what was the interest rate for the last 35 years. Then how do I fetch that quickly? That is being done with the help of Python. All right, so Python is like a data collecting and a data processing language, and Excel, you know it, like how to put that data in the Excel. So basically, the CFA candidates were earlier being seen that when they go to the corporates, they were not able to use this Excel very efficiently. So to basically help the candidates to know the basic nitty-gritties of Excel, they have introduced the financial modeling, or as Excel. Excel means same financial modeling, and the Python language in the 2024 onwards. But keep in mind, not as a part of exam. This Python And this financial modeling, you might have heard about in some news also that they have introduced that in the CFA syllabus. This is not the part of your exam. In those 180 questions which are going to be coming to you in the exam, they are not going to ask a single question on financial modeling, that is on Excel. They're not going to ask a single question on Python. However, they are making it mandatory that you have to see some content, that is some reading and some videos of financial modeling and Python before your result date. For example, if I take the level 1 February exam, my result of level 1 February will come by March end or by April 1st week. So before March end or before by April 1st week, before I get the results, I need to see those videos of financial modeling and Python. No question of that will come in the exam, but looking at those videos is mandatory to get your results. If you don't see the videos, you will not get the results. Your results will be held back. Only when you see those videos, your results will be released. So from the exam date till your result date, you have to see those videos of Python and financial modeling. Okay, so that's the one addition thing. And second addition thing is actually not so applicable to you right now. In the level 3, they have brought some specialization. So in the level 3, you can choose certain subjects that are more interested, that you guys are more interested. So that's the level 3 wala update. That in the level 3, you can delete certain subjects, you can add some subjects, which is not more important, but that Python and financial modeling, which you might have heard about it, it is important for you to note that you have to see their videos, but there no questions on Python and financial modeling will come in the exam, will be tested in the exam. No question will be tested in the exam. Yeah. No, any questions, Varun, Dinesh?
Sir, books you would prefer us to buy and the calculator, what all things we would need to go through this?
Okay, so basically, CFA Institute will also be providing you with some certain books. However, I would say that the books which I have forwarded in those groups, so those are the notes which are more compressed, more concise as compared to the CFA Institute books. So those are the books that you should read. But for practicing, there are some question bank you need to solve. Okay, so for reading, those books that I forwarded in the group are good enough. But for practicing, you need to look at certain question bank which I have not forwarded in the group, which I'll do it later on. But do not read the CFA Institute curriculum. Now, this is something very important because generally from the childhood days, it's like, don't just look at that Navneet guide, look at the actual books. This is what my parents used to advise me, that don't just look at that guide, look at the actual books. However, here I'm advising you exactly ulta, that look at the notes, don't look at the actual books. The main reason for that is the actual books ka number of pages are 3,200. Whereas the CFA, the note that I have forwarded you, uska number of pages are around 900. So number of pages to read are like humongous. 3,200 pages are so much that you will simply end up your 8 months in reading only. You will not get the time for question bank solving, which is very essential. In the actual books, they have given a lot of practical life examples, which will actually be helpful when you're going for an interview, but not help you to prepare thoroughly for the exam. I've seen those students who actually study from the curriculum books, they end up reading. They do not get enough time to solve the questions, which actually backfires them and they don't clear the exam because they did not get enough practice. So it is important that you read from the notes that I forwarded to you, as well as you do a practice of the question bank and then do revise and then take the mock exams in the last 1 month. Last 1 month should be second round of revision and the mock exams. Okay, coming to the classes, we will take the lectures on Saturday, Sunday at Dadar or Andheri, whichever branch you choose. So I'll put the timetables and the fees, etc. in that group. I'll not talk about it right now. On the weekdays, I will not be taking the classroom lectures because of the college and the work comments. I've seen you guys not coming to the classroom on the weekdays. So on the weekdays, I mentioned you have to do the 3 things. One is read, solve the questions, at least 20, and get at least 15 right, that is 75% accuracy. And third is revise for those weekly tests. On the weekdays, we'll be having those practice sessions online for around half an hour, 45 minutes, as and when they are required. And over there, I'll not teach anything new because there will be online sessions. In the online session, I don't like to teach a new concepts, but whatever I taught you on the weekends, I'll be revising those in that half an hour, 45 minutes. I'll be solving your doubts. And I'll be doing some random 5 questions as a kind of a surprise test, out of which you get 4 right. That means you have understood the concept thoroughly. So practice of at least 5 questions or revision of whatever I covered on Saturday, Sunday, or doubt solving. That is the agenda during the weekdays. Half an hour, 45-minute session, not more than that. So those weekday sessions will be late in the night, like something like 9:30 onwards, 9:30 p.m. onwards, for half an hour to 45 minutes. Okay, so classrooms ka timing, so I'll be putting it on the group. So now let's not discuss it right here. You'll wait for half an hour, 45 minutes. If you guys want to come back after some time, आप थोड़े टाइम के बाद आ सकते हो. I can't hear it. Yes. So basically, they are saying that it is basically should be finance related, but technically, as of now, if I look at practically what kind of experience they are approving, is any experience which is remotely connected with finance, they're accepting it as of now. On the website, they are clearly mentioned what are the relevant finance experiences. But practically, I can say that I have seen CA guys getting their accounting and audit kind of experience getting approved for the charter. So you can get it accepted. But what are you doing right now? That's saying C would be a relevant experience. So by the time you clear level 3, yeah, that's fine. But by the time you clear level 3, you will have that work experience.
But it's 3 years work experience. That has to be after
No, it should be during, it could be during. So even after like graduate, you will be graduating in 2026. Right. So by the time you become 2029, you will complete 3 years of experience. So you'll be eligible for a charter, final certificate. So I mentioned that after level 3, 3 years is not required. During your preparation of CFLs, internship is not counted. Full-time job is counted. Full-time job is counted. So internship will not be counted as 3 years of experience. It will be 3 years of full-time experience. You asking something? Anything else? All right, online guys, anything else? Yeah, we can.
Sir, the Swazers 23, 2023 and Feb 24, there will be some changes.
I want to say, wait for 2024 notes to come, which will come soon in the August first week. So don't buy the 23 notes right now.
Okay, but we can refer to the notes which you have sent it on the group.
Because 24 notes have not yet been released.
Okay.
So, can we refer 23 notes right now? So right now the books that I have followed in the group are 2023 because 2024 ke books have not been released, but 2024 ka syllabus has been released and that is almost similar to 2023 syllabus. Not much changes in the 2024 syllabus compared to the 23 syllabus. It's almost same with 3 chapters being refreshed compared to the around 70 chapters. So it's almost same. Right now, 2024 notes have not yet come, so they will come by approximately 1 month later. Yes, Deepan.
Yeah, so sir, my question is related to preparation time. So you're referring to 7 to 8 months. So is it applicable for all the 3 levels?
Yes. The 7 to 8 months which I said is applicable for all the 3 levels. Each of the level is going to require almost same time of preparation. You can say level 2 will take 8 months, minimum 8 months. Level 3 again 7 to 8 months. So level 1 7 to 8 months. Level 3 7 to 8 months. Level 2 you can say 8 months to 9 months.
So for a working professional, for a level 2 will require more than 8 months, right? To prepare well enough.
Minimum, I mean 8 months would be possible for a working professional. If you can devote daily 2 hours, 8 months should be good enough for you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
What guys, any questions? Yeah. Silent please. Yes, silent please.
When will be the batch starting?
So Andheri batch is starting on this Saturday and the other batch will start on the next week. Yeah, next Sunday. That is, I think, 9th or 10th. So next Sunday, the other batch will start, not this Sunday. Next Sunday, the other batch will start. Andheri batch is starting on this Saturday. Not mandatory. Institute book questions are required. Institute website questions are not mandatory. Institute book questions and our question bank is good enough. Fine. So if you have personal questions, wait in the class. If you do not have any personal questions and if you like right now have no questions to ask me, thank you so much. And if you have certain questions to ask me later on, you can contact me over WhatsApp or you can call me. And if you have some questions to ask me right now, just wait in the class. I'll just have a little bit of water. I'm having a bad throat. I'll come back in 5 minutes. All right, 5 minutes, 2 minutes. All right.